welcome to Graybo's Giblets. We are Gray Burnett, Ryan Fitz, and Duke Dodson. We own a sports card shop called Graybo Sports Cards and a sports bar called Parlay in Richmond, Virginia. We know you don't have 40 hours per week to pour over podcasts and spreadsheets, but you want to get in on the action. So we do the work for you. We bring you 30-minute giblets each week so you can feel good heading up to the window and into the weekend. We are the crossroads of sports lovers, fantasy heads, sports betting, and sports cards. We're out here dropping giblets for the people. And today we have a special show previewing March Madness bracket with our special guest, Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac, from the Ryan and Russ Show and College Experience podcast, former college basketball staffer with West Virginia, South Carolina, and Austin Peay. Moneyline Mac, how's it going? Thanks for being here. We're really excited to have you.
I'm excited too, guys. I appreciate you having me, and let's talk some madness.
And you probably have the best nickname for a podcast that I've seen, Moneyline Mac. I'm ready. I was reading your X, and it showed that you're up 106 units in college basketball. So I'm ready to get some winners come Thursday for sure from you.
Well, that's coming off the 1-4 Sunday that one guy made sure he let me know about. That's my favorite. They never reach out when you're having a good day, but when you have a crappy day, they're the first to flood your mention. So yeah, hopefully we can have a good March. I like the bracket. It's going to be fun, and I'm sure there's going to be upsets all across the board like there always is every year.
All right, Mac, this is Denny here. I've got a trivia question for you. So of the 68 teams, 6 of them are the Bulldogs. How many of the 6 Bulldogs can you name?
Well, I know 2 of them are playing each other, Gonzaga and Georgia. So that's an easy one. Let me glance at the bracket, and I can at least Yale, they're a Bulldog. I know that. Scrolling down, Bryant's a Bulldog. So that's 4.
That was a hard one too. So
yeah. Looking at Drake's a Bulldog. I know that. So that's 5. So I'm missing 1. Hail State in the SEC, 6.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Hail State. Yeah. He got it.
Very nice. Very nice. Well done. Most of the people I know got 4 at best.
I couldn't get Bryant. All right, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to break down region by region, talk about some storylines and some first-round matchups we like, get into some first-round bets, some upset picks, and then we'll pick our Elite 8, Final 4, and National Champion. We don't have much time, or I would like Moneyline Mac to speak his mind about West Virginia and UNC, but I'm sure he's done enough of that and is sick of talking about it. And it is a crime. West Virginia should be in. For the record, Mac, I'm with you. So let's get right into the bracket. Let's get into the East region first. With the top 4 seeds, we have the Duke Blue Devils, Alabama, Wisconsin, and Arizona are the top 4. Moneyline Mac, is there any first-round matchups or storylines you're looking forward to when you are looking at the East region?
Yeah, I would say that this is definitely the softest region on paper. Shocker, it's Duke's region. So, yeah, I mean, they throw Carolina a bone, they throw Duke a bone. Funny how that seems to work every year. But I for whatever reason, though, everybody has penciled Duke into the Final 4, which means I feel like this, with it being the soft region in quotes, is going to be the region that kind of may blow up. There's always one region that nobody sees coming that'll blow up. For a storyline, I think a really interesting game is that 6-11 game. And I'm not just saying that because we're all in the Richmond area, but VCU and BYU, I think both are good enough to get to the Final 4, but they both are underseeded in my opinion. And having to match up with one another in the 6-11 matchup, that's going to be a unique matchup. And then I also think the 7-10 game, both of those teams are good enough to get to an Elite 8 in St. Mary's and Vandy. So there's not as many storylines in this one in terms of coaches going against coaches like the West region, but there is still some unique matchups and some boomer bust teams like Arizona and Oregon. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost in the first round or if they got all the way to the Final 4 with how high variance those teams are. But this is a soft region on paper, but that doesn't mean it can't blow up.
Yeah, I'm with you with Oregon. They always seem to every tournament The 12 seed, the UVA year, the UVA won the national championship. They made it to the Sweet 16. Every year, it seems like they make a little run. I do think a 5 seed for Oregon was really low, though. I thought they were going to be like maybe a 6 or a 7. And I'm with you. I think this is the weakest region by far. My first thoughts were Duke should cruise, especially if Flag is healthy. And I hot take here. I think Alabama's the worst 2 seed in the tournament, in my opinion. They can get hot, but if they're cold, they don't play any defense. So those were kind of my takes looking at this region. Jenny, did you have any takes?
I'm with him. Looking at VCU, BYU, it's an interesting matchup. As VCU fans, we're a little biased, but we think they can make a run. But they got a tough first round matchup playing in Denver at elevation against a team that's way more used to playing at elevation. I think is a factor, but I see a lot of sharps picking VCU to go 2-3 rounds, so we'll see.
Yeah, I saw some Elite Eight, and I can see BYU as well. Whoever wins that first game, I can see making a huge run. So let's get into, do we have any first-round bets that we like? I have a couple that I'm thinking about. I have Baylor Moneyline. I like that one, and I like St. Mary's -3.5. I think this is a really good St. Mary's team this year. I know they didn't play very well in the West Coast Championship, but have an experienced coach, and I think St. Mary's can make some noise, especially in that first-round game at -3.5. Are my 2 bets that I'm looking at. Haven't locked them in yet, but those are the 2 I'm looking at. Denny, how about you? And then we'll get to the expert.
I'm riding you on the Baylor money line. I'm kind of just fading Mississippi State. And also like Lipscomb getting 14.5. Those are the 2 that I'm looking at.
Ooh, Lipscomb.
Yeah.
All right, Moneyline Matt. Show us where the money is.
Yeah. So yeah, I my favorite one is VCU. I know we talked about the elevation, but I just think they match up well with BYU. I think they have the depth on the perimeter and the size, and they have the experience too. These all guys came back to play for Ryan Odom, and we're getting the better coach, more experienced coach in this event. This is Kevin Young's first game coaching in this event. So I see there is a 3.5 out there. I'll lock that one in. I'll co-sign you guys on Baylor. You know I'm a Big 12 guy being being a Mountaineer, but I also think that Baylor's a little bit underrated coming in. They got 4 guards that are really good, can get their shots. They kind of remind me of that Miami team a couple years ago that they just had to get into the dance, and they even got Omir in the middle, who was Miami's big man.
That's right.
Edgecombe's going to be a top 10 pick, so I think that they have too much firepower for Mississippi State. And then sneak peek, you'll see this when I reveal my bracket. I like the Gales in that 7-10 game. I think St. Mary's has had some heartbreak over the last couple of years in this event, but it's been a really, really good program. And they didn't win that league by fluke. They swept Gonzaga, and they swept Gonzaga convincingly. Marcellonis, Will Saxon. I think that this is a unit that's on a mission this year. So yeah, those are my top 3: St. Mary's, VCU, and Baylor.
In the thing with St. Mary's, like, just going back to you talking about coaching experience, to lose their starting point guard in Mahaney and Jefferson and not skip a beat. I think they're better this year. Just watching, like
they're underseeded.
Yeah,
they got a 7. They should have been like a 4.
Yeah, that says a lot about the Coach Bennett for sure. So upset pick. We're each going to pick an upset pick, and I think everyone might be on the same page. I'm going to say this is a homer pick, but listen to Moneyline Mac brings up a lot of good points, and I'm kind of liking this pick more and more. I do think BYU can get hot from 3, but I think VCU, like Moneyline Mac said, can match up very well at the perimeter, and I like VCU over BYU as my upset pick for this round. Denny, who's your upset pick?
One correction. I said Lipscomb. I meant Liberty. Sorry. I got Lipscomb. I was in the wrong bracket. But, yeah, my 2 upset watches are VCU and Liberty. I'm with you. I think Oregon could go down in the first round. Would not surprise me. And, yeah, VCU, length, defense, athleticism, they can make it hard on anybody. Obviously, that's a team I've watched more this year than anyone, including Duke, of which I'm also a fan. And they're a team of runs. They can get hot. And they can they could lose this game or they can win by 15. It wouldn't surprise me.
So Moneyline Mac, I think you're going the same way. If you had to pick one big upset, or is it another? Is it something different?
Yeah, I don't even know if I would like if VCU wins. It's like kind of an upset, but I don't think any of us are going to be really surprised. If I'm going to take one that's north of 2 possessions that I think could win, I think Liberty. can beat Oregon. I've just always been impressed with Richie McKay. They've won an NCAA tournament in his tenure. And they're just really disciplined, and they're a tough team to prepare for with those two little guards that can really make shots. So I think Liberty in that late Friday night spot could pick off Oregon. Like I said, Oregon could get to the Final Four, but I also could see them losing to Liberty. So yeah, I think I'll take a stab here at Liberty as my big dog, but I like VCU as well.
I like that one. I might sprinkle some on Liberty and the points for sure. And then coming out of this region, the Elite Eight, who would be your two that come out of this region? Denny, let's start with you. I think I know who you're going with because I'm going the same way.
Yeah, I think the 1 and 2 seeds are pretty strong, so I'm going to sound rather chalky with my Elite Eight picks. I'm going Duke and Bama.
I'm going to be chalk too. I'm also going Duke and Alabama, even though I think Alabama is the worst 2 seed. I think they do get past St. Mary's. That will be a hard game for them, but I think Alabama is going to find a way to face Duke in the Elite Eight. Moneyline Mac, you got something different?
Yeah, I blew this one up. I added a little bit of fun in this one. I got St. Mary's beating Alabama in the round of 32. I think they match up well with them. They can drag that thing in the mud, and I don't think Bama's very healthy. I don't know if Grant Nelson's even going to be available or at 100% for that game. So I got St. Mary's going to the Elite Eight, and then I got Caleb Love in Arizona knocking off Duke. Caleb Love knocks off Duke once again in March Madness. They played in the regular season. Duke did beat them, but that was a bad Caleb Love game. He went like 4 for 20. I'm banking on him being able to make a bunch of shots. And Arizona's gotten better with the young big fella. So I got St. Mary's and Arizona in my Elite Eight.
I like it. So you got Caleb Love could face Duke again, and then you have Jeremy Roach from Baylor could face Duke in the second round. So pretty cool storylines there. So let's move on. Let's head down. Let's go to the West. So we're going to kind of go all over the place here, going east to west. Top 4 seeds. We have number 1 Florida, who's probably one of the hottest teams in America right now. Number 2 is St. John's. 3 is Texas Tech, and 4 is Maryland. I think this is a terrifying region to be in if you're Florida. Those are 4 really good teams. So, Moneyline Mac, what are your first thoughts when you saw the West region with these top 4 and other seeds as well?
You think they put enough good coaches in this region?
Yeah, good Lord.
I mean, you got national champ. Well, you got Hurley, who's won back-to-back. He thinks he's the best coach in the game, according to himself. I would beg to differ. But you also got Bill Self. He's got 2 natties. You got Calipari. He's got a natty. And then, of course, Rick Pitino, who's got multiple natties as well as a 2 seed. So you got good coaches all over the board. You got contrast in style games as well. Colorado State, Memphis, they want to play differently, and then the Missouri-Drake game is going to be an entertaining one. This region's loaded. I'm not going to lie to you.
Absolutely loaded. Yeah, so Pitino either versus Calipari or Self. UConn taking on maybe one of the hottest teams in America. UConn going back-to-back national championships. How are they going to do if they advance? But I also see them losing to Oklahoma. Colorado State's favored as a 2 seed, one of the hottest teams in America. And then, like you said, Missouri versus Drake. Very excited for this region. Do you have anything to add when you're looking at this region?
I'd say the matchup I'm looking forward to the most is Drake, Missouri. A lot of folks are picking Drake there, 6.5-point dogs. I will say that every year there's a 3 or a 4 seed that you like, that you think's going to make a run and go deep, and they get surprised in the first round. And so the 2 teams I'm kind of watching here are Maryland and Texas Tech. People are big on both of them and have been the second half of the year. And that's one of those things that knocks you out of a survivor pool is when one of those teams goes down. And one of them will, like one of those 3 or 4 seeds will get knocked out this week that you're expecting to make a run.
Yeah, Texas Tech, I don't know how healthy that squad is, but when they're fully healthy, very, very good. Top 10 in Ken Palm. They're a top 10 team. So being the 3 seed there with red hot St. John's, red hot Florida, Maryland should have beat Michigan and maybe have won the Big Ten championship. You got some really good teams in that region. So let's get to some bets. Denny, what have you kind of thought about spread-wise here?
First round, looking at 2 games. One is Drake getting 6.5. I considered the money line, but I'll take the 6.5 points. I expect it to be a close game. And then back to Mr. Danny Hurley. I'm also out on Oklahoma. I'm actually going to bet UConn first round -4.5. I'm not betting on them to do much after that, but I expect them to win that game.
Okay. I'm going to go against you there.
Okay.
I'm going to take Sooners +4.5. This Fears kid is really good, freshman. Maybe be a lottery pick. I'm actually going to go Memphis 2.5. I know Hunter's out, possibly. Moneyline Mac, is he out for the whole tournament?
He's at least out this weekend.
Yeah, I know he's at least out for the Colorado State game. But they got PJ Haggerty, and then their big guy. How do you pronounce his name? Is like
Cisse or
so they have Cisse, and then the
Danger?
one from
Danger?
Illinois.
Yeah,
Danger.
Yeah,
the
Danger.
one from Illinois. The Illinois transfer has been unbelievable. Because I had UAB and I watched that whole game, and that guy was unbelievable. So I'm taking Memphis 2.5. I might, if money line's plus money, I might take it. I'm going to take it as well. And I know Colorado State's been hot, but I think Memphis can match up well with them. I know the Clifford kid is really good, but I'm going to take a stand with Memphis. People are hating, and I'm going to go Drake 6.5. I think they are just a really well coached team, and that Sturts kid is really good. Moneyline Mac, do you have any bets that you're going to throw down in the first round here?
Yeah, we're gonna go head to head on that Memphis Colorado. I see a 12.
I knew that would be a risk. I don't know if I like it anymore. I was just kidding.
I see that 12 seed laying points. I go, yep, I'll lay those points. You mentioned it, Nick Clifford. I think that Isaiah Stevens was a great player, but I think they're better and more balanced this year. And I think Medved's done an unbelievable job just getting that team to come together. And then the last two in the bottom half of the region. Everybody seems to like Arkansas. I think people forgotten the inconsistencies of Calipari in March, and they're getting Boogie Flam back. They were 0-5 in SEC play when he was there. I think it's a new season for Kansas. I think that they got a lot of guys that have won a lot of games in this event. So Bill Self, extended rest, I'll lay the 4.5 there. And then I like Omaha in the bottom, getting 18.5 against the Johnnies. The Johnnies struggle to make shots. They're off the Big East Championship. They're off every Today show. They're on the Jimmy Fallon show. They're already talking about the round of 32 matchup with Calipari or Bill Self. I think getting 18.5 with that banging trash can bunch, I think Omaha is actually going to be in this game till the very, very end. So, give me those points there in the end.
I like that. I like hearing things about that because I don't know anything about Omaha. All you hear is about everything you hear about St. John. So yep. I like that a lot. All right. So upset pick. If you had to pick an upset, mine is going to be Drake over Missouri. I think that is what a lot of people are on as well. You can't really say Colorado State's an upset because they're favored. So I'm not going with that. And I like Memphis. So Drake over Missouri for me. Denny, who are you rolling with?
I'm going to take Drake, and I'm actually going to take Arkansas. I agree with everything Moneyline Mac just said, but the angle I'm taking is just Kansas quitting. I hope you're right and that it's a new season for them, but they kind of quit last year. The second half this year has been a mess, and so I'm just going on the quitting narrative there.
On top of that, maybe Moneyline Mac can talk about this. What happened to the store kid? He was so good at Wisconsin. What happened? He's not even catching any minutes with Kansas. This kid was really good.
Well, you can see how much Wisconsin missed him. I mean, they're 3 seed this year. He's kind of a hard guy to play with. He's a volume shooter. I don't know if he's really a volume maker. It's a lot of one-on-one, and he's not really a big structure guy. And Kansas is obviously a big structure program with Bill Self running his offense, and it hasn't fit with Adams and Dickinson on the inside. So just a bad portal addition by them.
Makes sense. All right, so we have one Drake over Missouri. We have an Arkansas pick. Moneyline Mac, do you have a big upset here? You said Omaha is going to take it down to the wire with St. John's, but not quite get them.
I think they're going to get them.
Oh,
I think this is good. Everybody joined a couple weeks ago watching college hoops. Loves the Johnnies, loves Rick Pitino, but they're offensively not a very good team. So if they go through one of these games where they go 3 for 27 from 3, play a little bit tight, we see this. If it could just be close around the 10-minute mark, the nerves kick in, the pressure gets to the higher seed. I think Omaha with those guards in a league where we've seen upsets. North Dakota State and South Dakota State have pulled upsets out of the Summit before. I like them catching the Johnnies in a sleepy spot and busting some brackets. Let's give me
Let's
Omaha.
go.
Bang some
Let's
trash
go.
cans.
You should see Adam Pitts.
You should see Adam Pitts' face.
Yeah,
Let me change my bracket.
He's buying into that fatigue. He's been watching too much Jimmy Fallon.
Imagine the look on Patino's face if they go down to a 15 seed.
Oh, I
That'd be
love
amazing.
it. Well, my Elite Eight, I have in parentheses says fade Red Storm. Fade
Okay.
them. For Moneyline Mac said, they're not the best shooting team.
Yeah.
They could get really cold. Now, what they do is they do wear you down defensively, and they can grind. So they win a lot of close games. But I'm going to go with the red-hot Florida Gators, and I'm going to bank on hopefully Texas Tech being healthy, and I'm going Texas Tech here. I think Texas Tech can make a Final Four run. I like the Red Raiders a lot. That's my Elite Eight. Denny?
Same. Florida, Texas Tech. I'm actually.
Ooh.
I hope we get the Texas Tech St. John's matchup.
I do too.
But I've got Texas Tech beating them either way.
But if Omaha wins, I'll be taking my shirt off at parlay. That's for sure. Moneyline Mac, what's the Elite Eight pick? The Johnnies are.
I'll throw one wrinkle in there. I got Texas Tech in the bottom half. I got the Terps. I think they can actually match up with the Gators. Physicality, size. I mean, the Crab Five's awesome. And I think depth doesn't matter as much this time of year just because these media timeouts are about a half hour. So, give me the Terps and Texas Tech. And I think that'd be a fun little Elite Eight matchup there in the West.
Let's go, because I got 2 Final Four features on both those teams. All my Final Four features are in the same region, though. It's like, but I'll take it.
One of them
get there, right? All right, let's get into the South. Moving right along, halfway done here. I just love talking basketball this time of year. It's like Christmas morning. The South, we have Auburn Tigers coming off the SEC loss. At number 1, Michigan State is 2. Iowa State with no Gilbert is 3, and Texas A&M is 4. What are your first thoughts about this region, Moneyline Mac?
What did Michigan do to deserve this draw?
I know.
They won the Big Ten, right? Or did they not watch that game on Sunday? It kind of seems like they didn't watch the whole tournament because I think Michigan should have been about a 3 seed. Iowa State's banged up, and then I know everybody's in love with Sparty as well because it's Izzo season. The 7-10 matchup is a fun one because you got 2 of the top 5 guards, I think, in America. Donovan Dent going up head-to-head against Cam Jones. So looking forward to that one. And then Louisville playing in Rupp as an 8 seed. A lot of people think they were underseeded. Creighton's got a lot of experience. So a lot of fun matchups here. And then I look at Yale, too, because they've pulled upsets in this tournament before in the past as well.
Yeah, a lot. I see a lot of upset alerts in this region for sure. I have Louisville in 8. I think got robbed there. And to your point, I don't think the committee watches Saturday and Sunday.
I don't think they watch at all.
I really think they have it already locked in. If UAB won, then they slide someone in there. But Michigan being a 5, Louisville being an 8. The only thing Louisville has going is it's in Kentucky, right? So home crowd. Michigan has to play probably the best mid-major we have seen in 10 years based on the analytics, UC San Diego, and then Yale, who did it last year as a 13 seed against A&M. Just some really good matchups. Yeah, New Mexico is another good matchup against Marquette. I'm looking forward to this region, the first round especially. Denny, you have anything to add to that?
Oh, yeah, we've been excited about this UC San Diego team for a while now. And me and you were watching the selection show together, and we just couldn't wait to see who they're going to match up against. And before the Big Ten tournament, you'd been fading Michigan.
I've been talking crap about Michigan.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that matchup. Like, the only downside is that everybody's on it. Michigan knows that. You're not going to sneak up on them. And a lot of times the upsets come because of a little bit of a letdown. So Michigan will be ready, but I'm still very excited about that matchup. Yeah,
and that leads in perfectly to bets. Like, first bet is I've been talking about, so I'm going to take them. UC San Diego plus 3.5. I think it might have already got down to 2.5. They will have trouble with the pick and roll with Golden and Wolf. But Michigan, what do? They turn the freaking ball over. And what is UC San Diego great at? Getting you to turn it over. So I think this is going to be a very close game. Michigan got screwed here. So I'm going to take San Diego in the points. I'm also going to take Louisville minus 2.5. It's a home game for them. I think it will be a closer game. People are kind of hating on Creighton a little bit, but Ashworth does so much for that team. I think Louisville has a lot of guards they can throw at him, and he'll get tired. And so I think Louisville is going to win that game. And then I'm going to take the points with Yale and New Mexico. Like we said, I just like the dogs here for sure in this region. Denny, what about you?
I'm Louisville's one of my favorite bets. I think they were, as you all mentioned, badly underseeded. They're going to be angry about that. They're playing in Kentucky, so I like them a lot. I like UC San Diego money line. I think my only concern with that one is, they're going to turn you over, and that's great. But I'm not sure they have an answer for Golden.
Yeah,
down low.
Scared about that.
Golden impressed me quite a bit as of late. I love New Mexico getting 3.5 against Marquette, and then now I can say Lipscomb again, and it'd be in the right bracket. So give me Lipscomb getting the points. I think I got him at 14.5.
Okay, Lipscomb at 14.5 against a banged up Iowa State team. No Gilbert, unfortunately. All right, Moneyline Mac, let us know what we did wrong and what we did right here.
Well, I'm head to head with you guys on Creighton. I love Kalkbrenner and McDermott. They've been really good in this tournament. They honestly, I would say they're one of the more underrated and underappreciated programs year in and year out. Back-to-back Elite Eights and Sweet 16 appearances. It's Kalkbrenner's final game or final run with Ashworth. I think they just have too much inside and answers for Louisville. That's, I think, a little bit inflated because how bad the ACC is. And I think that could become a common theme over this weekend is how bad the ACC was. I love the Tridents with you guys. I know it's not going to sync up on anybody, but neither did JMU and Wisconsin last year. JMU was just better than them. And I think UC San Diego is just a better all-around team, making shots from the perimeter from 5 spots. I don't see how Vlad Goldman and Danny Wolf are going to be able to match up with those 4 and 5s that can make shots from the perimeter and potentially get them in foul trouble. I know Michigan will dominate on the inside, but I think that they're going to be able to make shots and really create some separation. And then my third one, this one's not out yet. I'm going to take Ole Miss on whoever wins tonight. For whatever reason, everybody's out on Chris Beard's bunch. I think they're pretty damn good, and I like backing Chris Beard this time of year. So you're going to give me Chris Beard versus potentially Hubert Davis or a San Diego State team that's overachieved. I'll take Ole Miss laying whatever number that is on short rest for whoever wins tonight.
I like that too. I like Ole Miss to get past Iowa State for what it's worth.
With how banged up Iowa State is, it sucks because I really wanted to take Iowa State to potentially win it all, but they need Gilbert to win it all.
They do. They definitely need Gilbert to. I definitely had Iowa State ready, penciled in Final Four until then that news broke. All right, so I like the San Diego vibes there. You're right with Creighton. That does make me a little bit nervous, but I'm going to stick with Louisville. We're going to go head-to-head. We're going to go head-to-head with Moneyline Mac. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm the Cardinal. Yeah.
All right, so our Elite Eight picks, I'm going to take, again, I'm taking the chalk here, just like the path Auburn has. I like the path Michigan State has with the banged-up Iowa State. Or Ole Miss doesn't really scare me that much, so I'm going to go chalk Auburn, Michigan State. Denny?
I'm going to go UC San Diego, New Mexico. I'm sorry. We
Elite Eight, yeah.
Auburn, Michigan State.
Auburn and Michigan State. And Moneyline Mac, you're going to go with?
Yeah, I haven't gone chalk yet. I'll go chalk here. I think people are writing Auburn off pretty quick, but we see this new season. I think Auburn's ready to go, and then I'll take Izzo for sure.
Gotcha. And I missed the upset pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have the same that you have. The 2 upset picks I have are UC San Diego, New Mexico outright. And I think that's what you had, right?
Yep, that's right.
Moneyline Mac, do you have an upset you like here?
No big dog in this one. The line's only 2.5, but UC San Diego.
Okay. We're all aboard the UC San Diego train. I only might get a shirt. I might have to get a shirt of the Tritons. The Tritons, baby. All right, let's get into the last region, the Midwest. The top 4, we have the 1 seed Houston, 2 seed Tennessee, 3 Kentucky, and 4 Purdue coming off that loss to Michigan. They got punked. Stay at the 4 line there. So let's talk about some first-round matchups that we look forward to or any storylines. Moneyline Mac, what do you see here in the Midwest? Some interesting ones.
Well, if you're Houston, would you rather be the 2 seed in this
Yes,
region? I mean, what is this? Hey, you think that they're trying to get them picked off potentially before they play Duke again, being on the same side of the region? I mean, how did they draw Gonzaga as their 8th seed? So
Unbelievable.
yeah, this is a screw job. But it doesn't surprise me. They always try and screw Kelvin Sampson. But yeah, I think a potential Houston Gonzaga second round matchup with the Zags having that long Sweet 16 streak. That's a fun one. Will Wade, former VCU coach, going against his alma mater, Clemson, in that 5-12 game. That's going to be fun. And then you got Tennessee, Kentucky at the 2 and 3 spots, both in the SEC. You could have another SEC Sweet 16, which is how dominant that league was. Interesting region here.
Yeah, for sure. I also mentioned Clemson going up against Will Wade. Will Wade has been mentioned for the NC State coaching job. Zags getting an 8 seed. They definitely should have been at least a 7. I don't understand that. I'm a big KenPom guy. They're number 9 in KenPom.
Yeah.
They're the 3rd favorite to win this region. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And everyone likes High Point. You have any thoughts on High Point? I haven't watched a single game except their conference championship where they came back on a 25-2 run. I know they have some guys that transferred in from higher up schools that went lower to High Point, but I don't know much about them. And everyone's talking about how they're going to upset Braden Smith and Purdue.
Yeah, they're giving me McNeese vibes of last year, where everybody was talking them into the first game as the underdog, and
right.
I don't know. Purdue's gone through that heartbreak enough where I don't think that they're going to slip up here. And
I'm with you.
When you've gotten picked off, you like you guys said, it's when you get it's a letdown spot. I don't think High Point's as good as them, and when you have a guard like Braden Smith that's been on a team that's got lost to a 16 seed. You're not going to overlook a first-round matchup against High Point. Yeah, High Point's good, but defensively, I don't see how they match up with Purdue. So I got Gonzaga, McNeese vibes of last year. So I do like the Boilermakers in that.
I'm glad I'm hearing that because I looked at High Point, and defensively, they're god-awful.
Yeah.
How are they going to stop Braden Smith and Wren? So I feel like Purdue will be fine there. Denny, what are your thoughts on this region?
Just overall, I'm interested in the Purdue High Point matchup. I'm glad I heard Moneyline Mac's thoughts before I do categories 2 and 3 here. Because I was all over McNeese last year, 100%.
Yeah. Fool's gold, baby.
It might be. So yeah, that's a game. That's a game I'm looking forward to the most. Round 1.
Awesome. First round bets. Gonzaga has been one of my favorite teams since middle school. Watching them upset, as a mid major and then become this powerhouse. I love Gonzaga. Especially when Virginia's not in it. So I'm going to take Gonzaga -4.5, and I hope that Houston game is going to be electric. And I'm going to take Troy here out of the Fun Belt +10.5. Troy against Kentucky. Kentucky's a big boom or bust team. I feel like they play up to higher opponents. I think they're going to play down, and Troy's going to stay with them here. Troy's probably not going to win, but I think 10.5. I think Troy can cover that. Are my thoughts there with Kentucky. Moneyline Mac, what are your first round bets you're looking at?
Yeah, I like the Zags too. I think that they finally have found something coming into this tournament with the run that they had at the end of the year. Georgia doesn't have the experience, so I like the Zags to blow it open late. Everybody loved McNeese last year, but nobody loves McNeese this year. So give me McNeese this year. They went through that beatdown last year. Will Wade added a couple pieces in the portal. I know Clemson's really good, but they're banged up as well. I like this veteran McNeese group that's been battle tested. Almost won at Alabama, almost won at Mississippi State. I like getting the points there. And then the final one, I like UCLA. I think that they're going to be able to match up well against a Utah State front line. And Mick Cronin's been pretty damn good in March. So I'll lay that 5.5 with the Bruins there.
Okay. And then for my upset pick, I kind of had.
I didn't do mine yet.
I kind of had. Oh, you didn't do yours. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man.
Well,
first round bet. What do you
all
have?
Good. I'm taking the Zags as well. So three votes for the Zags, laying 5.5. I'm actually going to take Clemson. I've got a theory that the ACC has been so disrespected, and they are bad. But my theory is that Duke, Louisville, and Clemson or one conference, and everybody else is in the other conference. I like Louisville to win a game and give Auburn trouble. I like Clemson to win 2 games, and I like them to cover this first round. That's my ACC theory. And then you don't like High Point to win. How about High Point getting 8.5? Mac, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it opened at 10.5. I think it's been bet down at
Yeah.
I think Purdue wins by 10 to 12. I think they blow it open late.
All right, I'm gonna take your word on that. I'm passing on High Point.
I love it. Yeah, for my upset pick, I think I'm going to go Troy here. Just on a throw it out because I don't like any. I like Clemson. I think Clemson gets past McNeese, but it sounds like Moneyline Mac. Your upset pick would be McNeese beating Clemson.
Guns up, baby. We'll wait against.
Oh man, that doesn't go well for my Elite Eight.
Yeah, Clemson went on that nice Elite Eight run last year. They're a trendy pick to pick off Houston and get to the Final Four. I think McNeese is going to get him with all that experience. So let's go Cowboys.
All right, something to think about. So my Elite Eight, I'm going to stay with it until I do some research before Thursday. I'm going to go Clemson.
You skip me again.
I'm going to go Clemson, Tennessee.
You skip me again.
Let's get you again.
On upset picks.
On upset
Yeah,
pick?
can I get my upset pick?
I thought it was High Point.
No, I crossed it off. I'm left. I had 2. I crossed off High Point. So my upset pick is Xavier to beat Texas, and then that's not the upset, but Xavier over Illinois. So
Xavier over Illinois.
Yeah, that's my upset pick. And honestly, I don't think Kentucky's going to get to the Sweet 16. They're going to trip up, if not against Troy, then maybe against Xavier. So I got Xavier winning 2 games.
Awesome. Let me go to you first for your Elite Eight pick.
Thank you. I'm going chalk. Houston, Tennessee.
Houston, Tennessee for Denny. I'm going Clemson, Tennessee. Moneyline Mac, who you going with the Elite Eight?
Yeah, I think everybody will talk themselves into the Zags in that sweet, and then I think Houston will smack them in that round of 32. So I got Houston and Tennessee. I think Tennessee and Kentucky in the Sweet 16 would be a fun one. SEC, but yeah, I think chalk holds, and Houston, Tennessee would be a fun Elite Eight game now.
That'd be awesome.
Football game.
Yeah. All right. Now that we have, I know we're running out of time here, so let's get right into it. I know we have our Elite Eight, so let's get into our Final Four national championship picks before we get out of here. And then maybe we'll talk about after that, if you had any preseason futures, Matt, we would love to hear it as well. So Final Four for Denny. Mm-hmm. Who are we going with, Denny? And your national champion. Let's go.
It's very chalky, but I got Auburn, Texas Tech, Duke, and Houston, and I got Duke beating Auburn in the finals.
All right. I mean, we're almost the same. Auburn, Texas Tech, Duke, and Tennessee for me. And I'm going the Tigers over Duke. Kind of switching it up. I had Florida, but now Florida's trendy. Going against the public here and going Auburn over Duke. Because like Moneyline Mac said, people are forgetting about Auburn. And then Moneyline Mac, who would your Final Four and champion be?
I think Izzo beats Bruce Pearl in the Elite Eight. So I got Sparty out of the South. I got Texas Tech beating Maryland in the West. So I got Texas Tech there. In the East top half, nothing like Arizona having a letdown after beating Duke. So give me St. Mary's as my Cinderella to beat Arizona, get to the Final Four. And then in the Midwest, I got Houston over Tennessee. I got Houston and Sparty in the national championship in an era where everybody just wants to kiss these players' ass. You got Kelvin Sampson versus Tom Izzo in the national championship old school. I got Houston. I think things come together. Last year they came up just short. Last couple years because of injuries, they're fully healthy. It's in San Antonio. I think that it finally comes together and Kelvin Sampson wins that national championship to solidify his Hall of Fame career.
That is a really good bracket pick. Houston.
Me personally, I hope it's a national championship, not because of money. I'd love to see Izzo and Kelvin in the final.
Absolutely. But also strategy-wise, that's a really good pick. All right. So before we get out of here, preseason, did you have any exciting numbers that you got preseason on any national champions or Final Four that you're sweating?
So I have Houston 15-1 and Iowa State 25-1 from like the spring. So I mean Houston, I'm feeling pretty good about. The one I gave out in the winter when we did a Christmas episode was Florida 20-1. So that one's got a shot, I think. Even though everybody seems to like the Gators, but those are the three national championship ones. I should have fired on VCU, but I kind of got hesitant when they were getting ultra sexy for a little bit there, so I pulled back. But yeah, those are just the three: Houston, Iowa State, and Florida to win it all. I don't know if Iowa State can win it all now with all these injuries, but I definitely think Houston and Florida can.
So I have to show off a little bit here.
Flex on them.
Before the season, Moneyline Mac, there was two teams I liked a lot. It was Florida. I got them 45-1.
Nice.
And Auburn 28-1.
That's a really good one.
So I am very excited right now. Hopefully, it probably won't work out for me. It probably won't work out, but I was just like, this is the best I've felt going into the tournament having preseason futures. And then you got a pretty good VCU one going to the Final Four.
Well, that's live today. You get VCU at 40-1 to make the Final Four right now. I got an Auburn a little later than you. I got Auburn 18-1. That's where I'm at.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Well, that's gonna do it for us today, Moneyline Mac. Thank you for joining us here on our podcast. Me and Denny really enjoyed it. Are you in Vegas?
No, we had a switch of plans, so I'm actually local today. So,
okay.
Next time we'll have to do it in studio.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, if you're in town, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come on over to Parlay. Yep. We'll buy you some beers.
Oh yeah, no, you don't have to twist my arm on that offer. Love Parlay, and everybody go check out. Go have a cold one at Parlay. Best sports bar in the Richmond area, Scott's Edition.
Very cool.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Let's do it again.
Giblets.